Yo, Grace and good friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. We are live in the studio, and I got a special guest for you guys today, all the way from Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, y'all make some noise one time for Jova. Let's get it.
Hey,
Hey, yes,
man.
sir. Thank you for coming, bro. Yeah, man. I'm super excited to have you. The online audience that's either listening or watching, they can't see right now, but we got a lot of moving parts going on in the studio. So
We do.
It's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool to be able to create and collaborate, man, from another city.
I agree, man. I agree. It's. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. For the podcast. I'm excited for what you guys are doing. This looks amazing. You guys are doing great.
Thank you, man. Yeah, hard work. We're building up. We're slow, man. You're catching us early, right? We're only in the beginning or middle of season 2.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm glad you're here. Man, I gotta ask, bro, and I already asked you earlier, but what was the trip like, man? What if you could sum it up, man, for anybody that's never been to Houston? Like, what?
So if you've never driven with Hanson, this man loves to learn. So we've been listening to like different podcasts.
Oh, so y'all been podcasting,
Just learning after. Yeah.
to prepare for the podcast.
Way too prepared for the podcast, man.
I like it, man.
But you know, it was a great ride. It was about 4 hours, three and a half, 3:45.
Yeah, we're a little up there. We're a little north,
Yeah.
north of actual Dallas. So it's a little further.
Yeah. And just it's been fun, man. I love road trips. I love just going out on the road and just doing all that stuff. It's been better that I didn't have to drive.
Yeah, that's always easy. Passenger princess.
Yeah, 100% passenger princess.
but not passenger prince.
No, passenger princess, bro.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Hey, for all my passenger princesses out there, man, keep doing what you do.
Keep doing what you do.
Bro, if there's someone right now that's watching this podcast, man, that doesn't know who you are or what you do, if you could sum it up in a nutshell, man, who is Jova? And actually, before you answer that, and this might seem like a silly question, but I got to ask, is that your artist name or is that your actual biological name?
So it's a mixture of both. Jova is short for my actual name, Giovanni.
Okay.
And the people that know me from before know I've gone through a bunch of different names, and I ended up on just Jova because it's me.
Yeah, it's clean. I'll say this. It's clean and it's unique. I've never met another Jova.
Yeah, thank you.
So
thank
it's
you.
I think that's good as far from the artist perspective. I think that puts you ahead of the right, because that's a lot of dilemma that people come across. Like they think of an original name and then they start uploading music and they're like, dang it, there's 3 other people with that name. And so I don't know if there's any other Jovas out there like artist wise, but I feel like just from my ears, you're ahead of the crowd. So
appreciate you. Either that or you get the Rapzilla change in name. You know?
Yeah.
But
I gotta add that to the.
You gotta add it, man.
I'll hit him up. See.
But yeah, no, it's that's where the kind of name came from. Just the first 4 letters of my name. As far as who I am a Christian first and foremost. You know, I believe in God. I believe in the resurrection and everything that He's done for us, everything that He does for us daily. And I try to put that in the music that I make.
Yeah.
Which most of it is really inspired by where I come from. I'm originally from Puerto Rico.
Born in Puerto Rico?
Born and raised in Puerto Rico. I moved over here to Houston when I was about 10 years old.
Okay, cool. So you spent some time there.
I did.
Enough to like really know about like the cultural differences, to say the least. Because at the age of 10, I mean, you're still technically a kid, but you know some things.
Yeah. And just moving over here was like a big culture shock for all of us.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, over there in Puerto Rico, everybody's out in the streets. Everybody's just kind of outside.
Yeah.
And the first thing I noticed here, like everybody's inside.
Mm.
Texas, everybody's just like hot and it's inside.
Yeah.
And everybody's just spending time with the people they know. And that was one of the biggest culture shocks for me.
So would you say there's a stronger like community aspect over in Puerto Rico?
I believe so.
As far as like neighborly aspect, like.
Right. I believe so. Like, I feel like if you live in a community or in a neighborhood there in Puerto Rico, you kind of know everybody.
Nice.
And everybody kind of is there to help each other, you know? Like, one of the clearest memories in Puerto Rico was like sitting there and hearing one lady from one corner of the street yell to the other lady on the other corner of the street to see if she has sugar.
What?
And to me, that's always like, I never heard that back here.
Yeah. No, we just order it.
Right. DoorDash
Go
it.
pick it up real quick.
That's it.
Which costs way too much, by the way. I don't know how people do that every day.
Me, bro.
Unbelievable. Man, so Puerto Rico. So for our geographically challenged folks out there in the audience, where is Puerto Rico in reference to, you know, the United States?
Gotcha. So if you go all the way down to Florida, You're gonna reach the Atlantic Ocean. Like at the very bottom of Florida, there's the Atlantic Ocean, and then you have Cuba.
Yep.
You have Haiti and the Dominican Republic. I might be wrong. I don't know if it's Jamaica first or Haiti and the Dominican Republic, but it's Jamaica, and then right at the very end, before the smaller islands, is Puerto Rico.
So is Puerto Rico an island?
It is an island. Mhm.
Nice. Heck yeah, dude. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is Puerto Rico one of those, like, it's actually United States territory?
So it's a Commonwealth. It's I'm not really too big into the politics of it.
Yeah.
But it is a Commonwealth, so it is under United States law.
Okay.
There are a lot of things that us as Puerto Ricans can't really do. For example, we can't run for presidency, but we can run for governorship and all that type of stuff.
Interesting.
Puerto Ricans.
Hey, Jova for governor 2028. You know?
Stop, but hit me up.
Hey, yeah.
Then there's the yeah, man. We're just, our common currency is the United States dollar and
Nice. I didn't know
all
that.
that type of stuff. So it's fun.
I knew learning at one point, like, that it had something to do with the United States, but I've never been to Puerto Rico, and I'm not too familiar with, like yourself, like the governmental, I guess, standards of it, and the relationship and all that. So yeah, I was just curious. You being from there, I wanted to see, what you knew about it. That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
How long have you been making music?
Oh man, I started it when I was about 16 years old. So I'm 32 now. That's about 16 years ago. If my math is
half,
wrong.
Yeah. It's half your life. Yeah.
Cool. So about half my life. And it just been on and off. Recently, about 2 years ago, I kind of just took it for serious.
There you go.
I kind of ran with it, and just seeing God work through the music and through the message and the movement has been inspiring. And I hope I can get to do this for longer.
Yeah, you've seen some, I'm sure, as most, and doing it for so long, you've probably seen some growth as far as, like, where you first started versus, like, where you are now, and, like, how God has probably opened some doors and, like, used your music.
Right. Yeah, no. Most people don't know this, but when I started writing music, it was like hard metal rock.
Bro, that's fire. Oh, that's what we need to be hearing.
Nah, man. Nah, you do not want to hear those songs, man. You do not want to hear those songs.
I do. I want to hear them after that.
Oof, that was like edgy 16-year-old teen sitting in the cafeteria by himself just writing, man.
That's so cool, though.
So cringe.
Nah, I like rock and roll, man.
I
Like,
love rock too.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's I feel like it's coming back. Like in the 80s, like musically on the big spectrum, 80s rock and roll is what, like, rap and hip hop is today.
I agree.
Like,
Right.
a very popular, like, party genre, very popular amongst, like, the younger generations. So yeah, it's really cool, man. Okay, so you started out rock and roll, like screamo almost, like
Screamo almost.
I used to jam screamo too, bro.
Really?
Like, yeah, bro. Like Hawthorne Heights. Who else, bro? Like, and then, like, of course you got the punk rock, like the All American Rejects. Like,
yeah.
bro, I was jamming, bro, back in the day. That was my stuff. Okay,
like
cool.
it.
What did you evolve into afterward? What was the next phase?
One of the trips I took back home to Puerto Rico, I met with a couple of my friends, and this is around the time that, like, Christian reggaeton and Christian, like, rap music was coming out over there.
Okay.
And there was this album called Los Cuatro Fantástico, and it had, like, these 4 unknown rappers, at least unknown to me, and they were just going hard, man. Just the bars they were spitting were crazy. The flow was crazy. The production was crazy. And I sat there and I'm listening to it, and one of my buddies is like, "Oh, we should do something like this." And I was like, "Yeah, we should." And that stuck with me. Nobody else ran with it, but it kind of stuck with me. I was like, "That's kind of sick."
Yeah, that was, like, what sparked the inspirational spark.
Right, that was the inspirational spark.
Was that the first? So that means Fantastic Four, right, in Spanish?
Yeah, that means Fantastic Four.
Yes, sir. Was the Fantastic Four, like, your first exposure to Spanish or Puerto Rican type of what we would call today CHH?
Not necessarily. The first exposure was definitely, like, listening to people like Funky and Vico C.
Okay.
Which Vico C is a major inspiration to what I do. I believe he's one of the greatest Spanish rappers that we have. So kind of listening to that, but really the tipping point was that specific.
Yeah, kind of get that album kind of put you on.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just thought of another question in regards to the rock and roll phase.
Yeah.
Were you writing out Spanish lyrics for metal, or was it English at the time?
All English.
Okay,
man.
okay.
All
So,
English.
And that the reason I was interested is because now that I think about it, I've never heard of, like, Spanish rock and roll. I'm sure it exists.
Yeah.
As a genre, and I'm sure it has its audience, but, like, I think that'd be kind of cool to hear too.
I do too. I do too. And who knows?
Maybe we could
work on
we
something.
got Hanson, we got the band, bro. The
We do
band's
have
here.
the
We just
band.
have to put in the work to like.
That's true. That's
Hey, bro, I
true.
keep trying to tell these dudes they don't. Everybody wants to be a rapper, bro. I'm like, man, I love hip hop, bro, and I was freestyling on the way here today. Like I'll always do it, and I'll probably always, well, maybe not always, but I'll drop music.
Yeah.
I'll do little shows and I'll have fun with it. But if I was being honest, and some of my friends that are closer to me know this about me, like what I really want to do, bro, is start a band,
Bro.
So like little English, Spanish, rock and roll, bro. Like I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
See.
That's really cool, man. So 16 years
Yeah.
making music. Do you do more than write, sing, and perform? Are you also, do you play any instruments? Do you like to dance? Like what's, like as far as like the artist side, like what all does Jova about?
So if you ask my wife, I can't dance. I'll tell you that right now. I got 2 left feet. But I, as far as like playing an instrument, I do play the guitar a little bit. I'm not
Acoustic or electric?
acoustic.
Cool.
But I'm not as experienced as anybody like what like Hanson is
For
or
sure.
some other guitarists. And I'm learning the technical side of the art of the music making.
Like
Stuff.
production side or
Production
engineering side, I guess.
Right.
Nice.
I was actually having a conversation about this with Hanson on the ride here, and I was telling him like to me music, I connect with music in an emotional way.
Okay.
Like it's easier for me to express myself through music versus like an actual conversation.
Sure. Yeah, I hear that a lot. It makes sense.
And like sometimes when it comes to like the technical side, to me, I'm forcing myself to learn it because you got to be self-sufficient in this industry.
Yeah.
So teaching myself to learn it, even though to me sometimes it sounds kind of boring,
Right. Or like tedious.
tedious. That's the word. Yes.
Yeah, because you could do, bro, I already know like engineering and just mixing, for example, like you could put in hours and it sounds exactly the same as how it,
Right.
like unless you really know that sauce, that strategy,
Yeah.
it's hard to get that stuff to pop, to separate the vocals from the instrumental. And then that's just if the vocals are stacked on like a wave or MP3. If the vocals are stacked into a full, like, what do they call it? Like a track out?
Right.
That's a whole nother ballpark too, like now you're tweaking each instrument to try to like wrap them around the vocals. It's kind of the analogy I've heard in discussion about people who know about mixing. You got to dissect each track and wrap it around the vocal. And it's a lot, bro.
No, and I saw a meme once that was like producers will waste 8 hours trying to work on one thing that nobody's gonna hear.
That nobody will even
That
notice.
nobody will ever notice.
And they will not drop the song until it's
Right.
perfect. Yeah.
Right.
I already know.
But yeah, man, that's kind of where I am right now as far as the music goes.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, musically, I heard you for the first time at our event back in November. It was the after party, Outlandish's very first after party 2024. You pulled up with a gang. You were under the umbrella that night of No Excuse.
Mm-hmm.
He had put together the first ever Texas takeover.
That's right.
Yeah, man, y'all were jamming out, bro. Y'all pulled up deep, bro, all black for real, just looking like a security team. I don't know what.
Like security team is crazy.
It was crazy, bro, but it was fly.
It was fly. Definitely shout out to No Excuse. I love that man. That's like a brother to me. So
shout out to Noe. Actually, we're gonna call him in live.
bro, I'm down.
I thought about it, bro. I actually, the only reason I said that out loud is because when we were talking about like booking Heezy for the pod, I was like, bro, we should get Noe on the phone. I don't think we're gonna do it, but we could. We could call someone. Maybe we will later at the end.
We'll see.
And just see if they want to hear your unreleased with us.
Stop.
Man, dude, I want to talk more about like your faith. Your faith in your music. So I think we kind of agree, like we're under the same musical goal of like not wanting to compromise our beliefs and our standards in a way, but still wanting to make music that like is tasteful to both the believer and the non-believer. And from what I understand, kind of what we spoke about a little bit earlier, your main goal today, right, as you evolved from the rock and roll into the hip hop into where you are now, which by the way, before I ask, where would you say you are like today? Is it more hip hop or is it more like reggaeton or?
I would say I'm focusing more on the like Spanish reggaeton and like trap scene, really.
I like that.
Yeah.
So dang, and because I paused to like Take a left turn. I forgot my question.
No.
Oh yeah. So like your main goal is to like reach, from what we talked about earlier, is to like reach that audience, right?
Right.
Like the Spanish listeners. So how are you personally like approaching? I want to make music that sounds good. I want to make music that's relevant to who I am as a person, but yes, still reach that demographic.
Okay. I'm a person that like I said, I like to communicate through my music a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes the message needs to be as personal as you can get with the person,
Like
with,
really
with
being,
the listener, right? I'm a very big person. If you have that relatability, people are going to want to listen. People are going to want to hear what you got to say. And sometimes we try to excuse or omit reliability and just put just straight Christian music or straight gospel music.
Almost to the point to where they're just rapping Bible scriptures.
Right, you're just rapping Bible scriptures, and that's cool if you do that.
Yeah, it's not necessarily
I'm not knocking
a
it.
bad or wrong thing.
Right.
But how relevant is it? No, I understand exactly what you're saying because I'm thinking out loud. Like, how relevant is it for me to rap Bible scriptures to said audience? Meanwhile, I didn't even read the Bible that day.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying people do that, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. But it's like,
right.
I feel like you're chasing authenticity in your music.
That's right.
Meaning like, this is how I feel right now, or this is something I went through. This is something I experienced, and I want to tell you.
Right. And when you look at a lot of like, let's say we want to get biblical. If you look at the things like in the Bible, like the psalmist, like David, whenever he wrote his Psalms, most of the things were very personal to him. These are things that happened to him. And these are things that he's experienced. And that's why he's able to write those verses.
Absolutely.
That's why he's able to worship God. And his worship is centered around, this is the God that saved me from this. This is the God that gave me this. This is the God that took evil from me. And I try to add that into the music as well. It's really more about, I went through this. You can hear that I went through this. You can hear the pain. You can hear the happiness. You can hear this. And in the end, the reason as to why I'm here telling you about this is because God.
Yeah, in a similar way to like what you just said about the psalmist, David is like, he always pointed back to the one true living God.
Right.
And I feel like what you're saying is like in your music too, it's that same. It's always going to connect. It might not be out there in the front. It might not be covered up in religious lore or lingo.
Right.
But it's there.
Right. It's like what George Lucas says about Star Wars. It's like it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm sorry. I'm like a big nerd, man. I love like Star Wars and
Let's
like
talk about
Marvel
it, man.
and all that type of stuff. So.
All right, this is the part of the podcast where it's gonna get weird because
get nerdy.
For me, no. Like I want to unpack that, because someone's gonna connect with that.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars is a huge huge deal. I never watched it.
You lie.
I get that response every time, my whole life, anytime I say that. I've also never seen Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. And for Harry Potter, super weird reason, but like I wasn't allowed to growing up. I don't know
I get that.
Heard of like the overly strict parents, religion, type of thing. So yeah. I also wasn't allowed to like play with Pokemon. So like, bro, when I'm in junior high and like everyone's like obsessed with like anime and even nowadays, like friends who watch anime and like are really into all that stuff, bro, I have no idea. Like and so interesting enough though, I'm still exposed to it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Star Wars, bro. Like,
Oof.
Have you ever been? I did go to Disney World. Jeez, dude, maybe like 4 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I remember going to the Star Wars world and it was like pretty.
Great.
Have you ever been?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
It's pretty cool.
And I went on like the 4D ride, bro. Maybe nauseous though, dude.
Did it?
Yeah. Because it was like, I guess I was trying to focus on on the screen while I'm like moving different directions. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But I'm guessing you've seen them all.
I've seen them all.
Are you to the point of like collecting? Do you collect?
I do a lot of collecting, but it's not like Star Wars memorabilia or anything like that.
So it's a little more.
It's a little more calm.
A little more calm.
The other things I collect, yeah, definitely not calm at all. But at least Star Wars, yeah, I'm a little bit calm on that.
What are you not calm about collecting?
Oh man, I got comic books.
Okay.
Funko Pops.
Still in the nerd category. Yeah. Funko Pops still in the nerd. Do you game?
I game, but I don't collect video games.
Okay, cool. No, it all connects each other, bro. I'm trying to get myself, accustomed to the universe. Like,
yeah.
I know all those things. Like, they have one to do with another.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, man. How long you been collecting comic books?
Since when I moved here, it was like the first thing that kind of got me into, really honestly, one of the few things that got me into like learning English.
Wow.
So my uncle, he used to collect comic books a lot, and he had like this little drawer on the under his like TV.
Yeah.
And every time we would stay with him, which was usually every weekday after
Okay.
school, we would stay over at their house while our mom was working, mom and dad, sorry, and I would just read.
So your first, or what helped speed ramp you learning the English language was actually not through hearing or speaking; it was through reading.
Yeah, I'm a very visual learner when it comes to that.
That's actually really interesting because I hear like a lot of people like on the other side of the spectrum, like for example, like my mom told me growing up, she grew up in church and her parents were Spanish speakers, pastors and stuff. And she said, yeah, she would hear Spanish in home, like as a little girl, but really she learned it at church through hearing.
Gotcha.
And then like, let's see, I know some people learn, like for me, like the easiest way I could try to learn a language even today is like, let's say I'm watching a movie on Netflix and like switch the language, it's reading.
Yeah.
So like there's different ways to like approach it, but that's really interesting. I've never heard of comic books though, like being the gateway into learning a language. And I think that's so cool. It just goes to show you like, as long as you're interested in something and it's got your attention,
That's right.
you can consume and it can create a level of understanding inside of you.
That's right. That's right.
That's fire. It's kind of what the word does, you know what I mean?
Hey, look at
hold
you
up, we're
bringing
going,
it back.
we're going to church for real.
Full circle, man. I love it.
That's fire, man. That's fire. So look, I didn't want to do it this early, but I think we're gonna get is it a live performance or just a world premiere?
We can do a live performance.
Let's do a live performance,
We can do a
baby,
live
because that's what
performance.
I like the most. And so we've got a song. Why don't you tell the people about what song we're gonna listen to? What song we're gonna watch you perform?
Gotcha. So as far as this song goes, it's called Nubes, and it's a song dedicated to my beautiful wife.
Ooh,
It's I really believe in the Song of Songs type of thing in the Bible. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta talk to your wife.
it's important, dude.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta
Hey,
love your
and
wife.
it's in the Bible for a reason.
That's right.
Some Christians try to like, neglect intimacy.
I'm telling you, man.
like, dog, God invented it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's his gift for real.
So yeah.
So it's kind of on that trajectory.
It's on that trajectory, and it's a little bit different. It's not really trap or reggaeton or anything like that. It's really going kind of back to my roots a little bit of pop, a little bit of rock.
Cool. Super nice.
So yeah,
And what does nubes mean in English?
it's clouds.
Clouds. Oh, I should have known. I knew that one, bro. Dang it, party foul. All right, cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, is this the first time you've ever performed the song?
This is the first time I ever performed the song. I should mention the song it's not finished.
Okay.
It is a very like rough draft.
So it's kind of like a rough mix, and we took down the recording vocals a little bit, right? So we're gonna get more of a.
Right.
Bro, I can actually add effects though too to your. Should we take a moment? Let me see, bro. Let's use this expensive machine that I bought, and let's try to dress it up just one time for the one time. Okay, you're in 2. Here we go. Hold on, I'm coming. I got you, bro. Just put on a little bit of reverb. Just medium, nothing too wet. You feel me?
Yeah.
You ready to talk real quick?
1 2 1 2
Yeah, it's
1 2. Yeah. Okay. I hear it.
a little something. All right.
Some.
I'll do my best to turn it off after the fact. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with our technical difficulties. We're live, baby. This is live entertainment. This is no editing. We just go with the flow here on Grace and Good Friends. And we're back with another world premiere, Nubes by Jova, straight out of H-Town, baby. Y'all give it up one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Dice, yeah. No quiero sonar cursi, ay, yo no quiero ser cringe. Pero si tú me dices, mami, dame el pin, yeah. Móntate en la venta y salimos de aquí, yeah. Yo no tengo mucho dinero, pero baby por ti haría lo que fuera, solo para tener un segundo donde estuviera tú aquí. Quisiera que existieran las palabras para expresar cómo me llevas. Oh baby, yo ando con la cabeza en las nubes. La presión me subes cada vez que tú me miras así. Y cuando besé tus labios yo estuve perdido y no pude encontrar otra razón para vivir. Tú eres el sol que me ilumina, la luna que me mira de noche, más no puedo dormir porque la mujer de mis sueños no la encontré yo, sino que ella me encontró a mí. Es más, yo no tengo chavo, dime qué quieres hacer. Si quieres nos escapamos de tu mundo, yo solo vivo en él. Solo tú eres perfecta, con defectos y todo. Parece que papá Dios te dio extra cuando te crió. Y siéndote honesto, yo no sé qué voy a hacer si yo no te vuelvo a ver, baby. Perdona si yo soy directo contigo, si yo te invito a casarte conmigo otra vez. Yo ando con la cabeza en las nubes, precio me subes cada vez que tú me miras así. Y cuando besé tus labios yo estuve perdido y no pude encontrar otra razón para vivir. Tú eres el sol que me ilumina, la luna que me mira de noche, más no quiero dormir porque la mujer de mis sueños no la encontré yo, sino que ella me encontró a mí, me encontró.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow, bro, I'm blown away. Y'all give it up one time. That might be the best performance we've ever had on the set.
Stop it.
For all of y'all that performed before, man, and for anybody who's performing next, man, the bar has been set. Y'all give it up one more time. My boy Jova, let's go. Let's go. Oh, tripping. I got to get my pads right, for real. Oh, that's fire.
Thank you.
Said,
man.
and
Thank
for those of you that didn't understand, let me put you on real quick. He said, the sun, you are the sun that lights me up.
That's right.
The moon that I look at.
That's right.
I told you, I can get,
You got it,
I'm
you
with
got
you,
it.
bro. I'm
You
like
got it,
halfway
bro. You got
there.
it.
That's all I got, though. And it's something about lips, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. Bro, you opening up before the matter and saying that you express your emotions through music more so than, I feel like I learned more about you in that song than anything we've done so far today outside of like what's here. So like it makes sense, bro. And I think that's a strong characteristic to have as an artist and as a creative, is like some people are really good at like rapping or really good at rhyming words, but there's not a lot of emotion. There's not a lot of message behind that. And I just felt a lot of emotion in everything you do. So man, Nuves, man.
Thank you.
Fire. When does the song come out?
We don't know. We're still working on it right now. Soon. I'll give you that.
I like it, man. I like the pop mix. It doesn't sound too like culturally like leaning one way or the other. It is in Spanish, obviously, but I think that's good. And I think the pop is there, the rock is there. Your voice, I mean, I didn't know you could sing like that. That's crazy.
I didn't know I could sing like that.
I mean, guys, I'm telling y'all, there was no like vocals. That was him. That was him. I mean, come on, man. People, they better, man. You about to get signed after this podcast drops, for real. No, that's awesome, man. So Nuves coming out soon. What else? What are some of your goals you have coming up, like as an artist? Would you say, like for me earlier, I shared, like my artistry isn't my top priority.
Yeah.
I do other things in life, other avenues, other projects, if you will. This podcast being one of them. But for you, like, where does your artistry stand on your list? And what are some of the things you want to see come to fruition here? It could be in the near future or just later on down the road.
So definitely my artistry is my top priority for me. I do believe that like ministry goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah, of course.
But the artistry is that tool that allows me to reach out to the people. So that's why it's such a priority for me. I always try to do what's best for the ministry and best for the artistry. I joke with my wife all the time because I tell her, if we don't follow our dreams, man, like we can't expect our children to do the same.
Wow.
And to me,
hey, that's deep. That's real.
I'm telling you,
that's
to
real.
me, that's where I lead with. I have to give this a try. I have to give this a shot.
It's a dream-driven passion.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I kind of stand on the same foundation. Like you miss. Check this out. Y'all probably heard this. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
But you also take 100% of the shots that you miss. That's kind of the glass half full perspective. Fun fact. But that's awesome, man. I want to go back to Nuves real quick before we completely leave off that. Like, obviously, and you told us beforehand, a song sort of to your wife, right?
Right.
I gotta ask, man, was there something specific that inspired that song? Like, were y'all on vacation one day and you just realized, or was that just kind of a collective of your relationship and marriage thus far?
Funnily enough, I wrote this song while I was mad at her.
That's crazy. Okay, pause. Let's unpack that. Did writing the song help you find that conclusion in that anger?
In a way, yes. We had just gotten off like a really bad argument, and I'm sitting there and I'm fuming.
Yeah.
And usually whenever I have these strong emotions, I just write.
Yeah.
So I start writing this song, and the song essentially talks about how like whenever I'm with you, I feel like I'm in the clouds.
Yes.
I feel like I'm on cloud nine. I feel like I all my emotions, all my senses, everything is just up to level 11, right?
11 is great.
It's up to 11, man.
I like that.
I love being around you, and writing that to me was very cathartic because it's me saying like I understand that I'm mad at you,
But more so than that,
more than me
anger,
being angry at you.
it's like right here.
That's right.
Mi corazón.
Mi corazón.
Mi amor.
Mi amor.
Let's go. Man, that's fire, bro. Y'all got to do a little music video for that or something.
Yeah, it's in the plans. It's in the works.
It's in the books, bro.
It's in the books.
Better be. Nah, that's good, man. I love it, man. I'm looking forward to hearing that, man. Like on DSPs and live and whatever comes with it, man. And just you as general, man. I feel like you acquired a new listener today. You know, you acquired a fan. Maybe a couple more, who knows, and maybe even several more when the episode drops. But for those of you who are new to Jova and new to you as an artist, man, where can they find you? What's your Instagram handle? Or if you're on TikTok, Spotify, all that good stuff, where can we get connected with you, bro?
So all of my socials are going to be under Who Is Jova.
Okay.
So it's going to be WHOISJOVA. And you can find me on Instagram, TikTok. I mean, if you're old enough to use Facebook.
Are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook.
You gotta get out of there, bro. Actually, no, I heard the Marketplace is a pretty cool, like you can come up for real.
I guess.
I don't know. I feel like Marketplace keeps Facebook alive unless.
Honestly, I keep Facebook for like my aunts.
That makes sense. Yeah, I hear that too. Like people do it for family. I mean, for me, I'm out of there, bro. I don't even have one, bro. But I do have a MySpace. And if y'all are trying to get on my top 8, I'm playing.
That's crazy. Vintage social networking, bro.
Bro, not only that, bro. I'm about to log into Zynga right after this episode.
Say less.
I'm playing.
Say less.
AOL, baby, hotline.
That's right. What y'all know about that hotline?
Man, y'all go follow my boy, Who Is Jova, on all platforms. Give his YouTube channel a sub. I got to throw that in there because I feel like artists, like we don't get no love on YouTube. But like that's where we put our music videos. That's where we put like BTS, all that good stuff. So y'all go give my boy Who Is Jova a follow on Instagram. Follow his Spotify artist channel. Man, connect with this man. Show him some love. And before we get out of here, bro, I want to give you just a moment with your camera to anybody watching the episode. Is there something you want to leave them with, like an inspiring message or just something that's on your heart? Or it doesn't have to be anything serious at all. Maybe it's something just lighthearted, but this is your sign off right here, big bro.
So, just what I relayed to you about what we joke about with my kids. If you're so passionate about making this happen and just having these dreams, definitely go for them. I would have never thought that I'd be in a podcast. I would have never thought that I'd be where I'm at right now. You know, I'm not where I want to be, but to the point where I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Without first off trusting God and second following my dreams. And you know, sometimes you got to go for broke.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. Sometimes you got to trust God enough to just go for broke and let him handle everything else.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, right in front of you, you're looking at a dream-driven man, Mr. Jova. One time, you heard it here straight from the horse's mouth. Go follow your dreams. Don't give up. Don't quit. Stay tuned in. Grace and Good Friends. We're rolling all season, baby. We love y'all. Good night.